Welcome back to the Sports Max Zone. For the first time, U.S. prosecutors have filed charges under the Rodchenkov Anti-Doping Act, which gives them the power to prosecute individuals for doping conspiracies at international sports competitions involving American athletes, broadcasters and sponsors. First to be charged under the act is a Texas therapist, Eric Lira. Lira is alleged to have provided 2 athletes with performance-enhancing drugs for the purpose of cheating at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. In the official court document, the U.S. prosecutors detailed a series of text exchanges between Lira and an athlete referred to as Athlete 1. Here's the first of those text exchanges, the first charge with the Doping Act here, Lira. Athlete 1 says, "So I took the 2,000 international units of the E, that's erythropoietin, yesterday. Is it safe to take a test this morning?" Lira responds, "Good day, Athlete 1. 2,000 international units is a low dosage." Athlete 1 responds, "Remember, I took it Wednesday and then yesterday again. I wasn't sure, so I didn't take a test. I just let them go. So it will be a missed test." Now, June the 22nd, 2021, Athlete 1 comes back. "Hola, amigo. Eric, my body feels so good. I just ran 10.63 in the 100 meters on Friday with a 2.7 meters per second wind. I am so happy. Eric, wow, whatever you did is working so well." Lira then responds, "What you did is going to help you for the upcoming events. You are doing your part and you will be ready to dominate." So, in the court document, the U.S. prosecutor stated that Athlete 1 underwent an out-of-competition drug test by the Athletics Integrity Unit, which revealed Athlete 1's use of the human growth hormone, resulting in Athlete 1 provisionally suspended from the Tokyo 2020 Olympic competition and unable to compete in the women's 100-meter semifinals, for which she had qualified. Now, based on the timelines here, Mariah, it is fairly evident that they are talking about the Nigerian Blessing Okagbari, who was disqualified from the Olympics at the same point at which we are referring. And this is a very, very serious story here, because we are again bombarded with issues of cheating, drug cheating, and the World Anti-Doping Agency and all the drug governance bodies trying their best to stamp out cheating. But it's very evident, even based on this latest story here, that it is an issue that's not going away.
Well, it's also, Lance, and I want to look at it in a positive way, it's also a manner in which the Rodchenkov Act is actually reaping its benefits. This was passed in 2020. We're currently in 2022, early part, January. And I mean, it's only 2 years since that act was passed. And, you know, they're discussing this, and it's the first person being charged under that act. And that's a big win. That's a big deal. And I think this particular matter will set precedents for people in the future. It's an eye-opener that, you know, you don't have to only be an athlete and be charged or be blamed and have your name plastered all over for committing a crime of anti-doping. It's actually telling you that once you aid an athlete in any way whatsoever, you will be in problems. And I feel like this is also a massive step, a massive win for those trying to stamp out anti-doping and drug violations and whatnot, because it will have some positive repercussions.
Yeah, the other thing that we've got to look at is that in the case of addressing the issues and drug cheats, previously, in instances like these, people connected and being found guilty of aiding and abetting doping would be banned. They would, you know, probably have their license revoked and so on, but it's not a criminal issue. Right. And this is where the Rodchenkov Act is going. It now becomes a criminal issue, and I would agree with you that it should serve as a huge deterrent, or it should serve as a huge deterrent. And the worrying thing for me, though, is I know sometimes when we hear, listen to what Athlete 1 said in the exchange and the text messages. She wasn't sure if she should have taken the units again the next day, because she had taken it the day before, and she wasn't sure. So they came to test her and she let them go, or she avoided the test. Now, you know about the whereabouts rule,
yes.
that if you do that 3 times within a specified time, it's a violation. But that in itself tells you that athletes who are cheating, they will find ways to avoid being tested. So, because she just said it, she said she just let them go. So it is counting as a missed test. Now, she would have to know that she cannot do that all the time. But I'm just saying the mere fact that we are seeing clear evidence here that an athlete was unsure about her cheating, her cheating being uncovered, and her way of dealing with it at that point was to avoid the test. So it counts as a missed test. And I say that to say that a lot of times we have discussions on the show about drug agencies randomly testing people, and there has always, especially if it's a Caribbean athlete, been that underlying feeling that some of these anti-drug testers are harsh, and they aren't allowing the athletes to live their lives and so on. And I think whenever these stories surface, it illustrates that these drug testers recognize that they have a massive problem on their hands. So they have to be strict. They have to be strict.
And most times, Lance, these drug testers are fully aware, because they do their behind-the-scenes work and whatnot. So they are fully aware that when certain things don't add up, you know, that there must be more than what just meets the eye. What I will say with this Rodchenkov case is that I get the sense that a lot of whistleblowers and people are getting more confidence in the system, and they're willing to report it a bit more. You get that?
Yeah, I think so. The other issue, though, is that, and remember we had discussed this just about a year ago, or a little more than a year ago on the show, when the act was just enforced. And there was a view coming from, you know, some people in the legal fraternity that felt that the U.S. prosecutors were being given too much power in these instances, because this is an American enforced thing, you know. This is not a global thing now.
Right.
So the Americans now have in their backyard or in their laws the ability to investigate, and the detractors would want to use the word terrorize people who they want to target. And in some instances, I think there are people who are questioning the legitimacy or how legal this is from an American standpoint, because this is not a global application of the rule that they are pursuing. It is something that the Americans are using from inside their own landscape to attack where they feel they need to attack.
Well, this case, Lance, definitely serves as a turning point. Many people will see it as an advantage, as a win for those who are trying to clean up the sport. So we'll have to see the other cases that follow, and if it benefits the sport on the whole, because that's what we want generally.
Yeah, and as I said, you know, it is significant that the charges here now don't just deal with your career and you being allowed to continue your career. It's now a criminal charge, which steps up the issue significantly beyond where it had been prior to now. We still have a lot more to come on the Sports Night Zone. Back in a moment.